Hi there, greetings everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock, and other forms of rock music. So we're here today. Now on Thursday nights, we have changed the format slightly. So we're going to be doing What's New on Thursday nights instead, as I have other commitments on Saturdays that take up my time. So I decided that to switch this with the other show. This one takes a little bit longer to prepare, listening to the album, making your notes, talking about the songs and that. So I decided that I would do this on the Thursday, even if it does come out a little bit late, better than tying me up and I'm not being able to get on time for my other event on Saturday. So from now on, What's New will be on Thursday night. So tonight's album will feature a band called Red Sand, a Canadian band, and the album The Sound of Silence. Yeah, the same title as the Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel album, but this one very different sounding, very different. So this was released on September the 7th, 2025, so just a few days ago. It's about 43 minutes, almost 44 minutes in length. It's on the Independent Music Market label. And yeah, great album. Featuring Michael Renaud, I think it's Renaud, on vocals, Simon Caron on guitars, bass, and keyboards, and Perry Angelillo on drums. So 7 tracks in total on this album. You've got 2 or 3 songs that are in the 2 to 3 minute range, and then you've got a couple of mid-range songs that are like, I think there's actually 3 here, 4, 5, and a 6 minute, and then you got an epic length 18-minute track. So the overall feel of this album is very atmospheric, very got that kind of symphonic sound at times. Slow, melodic is another terms that would describe this. Definitely has the more sped up version later on. So they kind of mix a couple of sounds here. So you're getting a little bit of a Floyd sound here with intermediate parts that are kind of sounding a little bit like Genesis at times. Yeah, so they've kind of mixed it up a bit and got a little bit of that sound. Overall, I did like this album quite a bit, and now I'm just going to break the tracks down a little bit. Puzzle is the opening track. It's got a pretty heavy keyboard synthesizer part, at least in the opening part. Kind of spacey, very spacey at points. It's got some nice slow melodic guitar parts here. It's catchy and got a nice heavy background to it. Nice catchy solo and drum part too, which are very frontal towards the end of the song. I like this track. Next track up is Lost Fantasy, probably my favorite track on the album. Starts out with some slow noises and almost like a newsreel going on in the background. Something like you would have gotten on even in the quietest moments, that kind of a newsreel part. Very Floyd-like sound here, though. Probably the most Floyd-like sound of anything on the album. Vocals are a little bit whispery, deep sounding. Very Floyd-like, but the high part is very different. It doesn't really sound like Floyd at all. His voice is much higher up in the registry. It's haunting, this song, with a lot of acoustic parts. It's got a bit of a multiple sound part to it as well, and it gets very grand in scale as it goes along. They're adding more synthesizers and more keyboards and more sound to make it a more grand sound overall. Yeah, pretty good, solid song. Probably their best, I think. Next out is the first part of Sound of Silence, so part 1. This starts with a kind of piano Genesis-like Lamb Lies Down on Broadway keyboard starting. A little bit of voices going on here as well. The guitar is slow, haunting, melodic, but dominant at the same time. Yeah, it's a pretty solid song. I don't think it's a fantastic song, but it's very good. Next up is The Watcher. This is probably the second longest track on the album. It's not one of the stronger tracks, though. I think it's probably one of the weaker tracks. It's slow, almost haunting at times. The vocals are clear, but you can hear the French inflection on there when he's singing. It's got a heavy build-up and drum-dominant part. The vocals grow and become grand in scale, if you want, so it's almost operatic at points. I would say this, it does change to a more poppy sound. It's kind of a heavy poppy sound as it goes along. The solo was really good as well. I would say this is the most heavy emotional track on the album for sure. And then there's a little bit of that spoken voice going on as well here. The next track up is called The Sound of Silence Part 2. This is a little bit shorter than the first part, not as grand in scale. Some nice catchy acoustic parts and some nice slow melodic parts as well. And I think the keyboards kind of take over towards the end. Yeah, it's got a bit of there's a bit of a water sound in there too. Yeah, pretty good song. I don't mind it. I think both parts are about the same. I don't love one more than the other. I like them for different reasons. The last two tracks are probably the second and third best tracks. So you get the last voice, which is the epic length side track on the album. It's slow, melodic, Floyd-like, lots of atmosphere, lots of spaciness going on here. It's got some slow acoustic parts at points as well. Does get quite heavy at different points with a strong keyboard solo part going on. Does a couple of changes in direction where it's almost sounding like a different song almost. I would say it's got that kind of overall a slow melodic part, but lots of heavy stuff in it as well. Yeah, quite a few peaks and valleys on this one. I wouldn't call them like serious peaks and valleys. Like it's not like an obvious drop off, then a build up, and then another obvious drop off. It's more gently rolling, I guess, might be a good way of putting it. And lots of guitar, and the solo is pretty good as well. And the final track is the best. This is a slow, melodic, catchy beat song. The vocals are a little bit whispery, nice and quiet, but deep and husky at the same time. Yeah, I would say this has got a kind of heavy drum-dominated part and keyboard-dominated part towards the end. So overall, this song is very kind of atmospheric in nature. The whole album is really good, though. It gives a very kind of Floydish dominant feel to it at times, but there's a little bit of that Genesis part going on as well. Kind of I wouldn't say it's the main sounding Genesis part. It's got that little bit of that Lamb Lies Down going on at different times. So pretty strong album. I think it's worth getting out and listening to. It's definitely one that I'll probably purchase. I think I can get it at Laser CD. I seen that they had it, and so when I do my next order, it's almost certainly going to be one of the albums I'm looking to get. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about Red Sand, about the sound of their music or of this album, if you have happened to heard it, you can do that in the comments section below. I look forward to people's comments on it, see if they get kind of the same take on it as I do, or maybe they have a completely different take on the album. Anyways, I look forward to seeing you next Thursday for the new slot that we will be doing What's New on every week. And take care. Have yourself a good evening, and goodbye here from Prog Monster.